Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, I'm now switching from evil Russian gear to St. Javelin Wholesome 100 Reddit Ukrainian gear, where I'll be swapping out my girlfriend for a femboy and becoming Bandera's best soldier by arguing with people on Twitter and Telegram all day from Lviv. Anyway, jokes aside, welcome back to the channel. In the spirit of April, I'm doing a Ukrainian video mostly because I feel sympathy for the Ukrainian impressionists who have nothing. To people coming here as newcomers, don't expect any Ukrainian videos past this one, as I mainly do Russian gear. I'm also picking up where someone left off. Sorry to anyone who might not like this, I have another Russian video coming out this month, hopefully because I have to go to Milsom West. I just thought it would be funny and ironic to make this video. So before we go on, a disclaimer. I am someone who makes Russian videos and will likely get things wrong here. While I did have a major help from 2 people on this video, it's still likely I'll miss things or lack information. I do ask that you try to correct me or add in the comments below, but without further ado, let's get into the video. I also want to thank San Francisco for helping me a ton in this video, and another unknown source, you know who you are, for helping a good bit too. With that out of the way, Ukrainian SSO, better known as the Leafmen, was formed in 2016 after the reform of the Ukrainian armed forces and in response to Crimea and Donbass. While the differences between Russian and Ukrainian SSO vary wildly, outside of gear, guns, and training, they are similar in some aspects. I'm not really qualified to go deep into that, so I'll move on. Since 2022, there's been an obvious shift in what Ukrainian SSO uses, and there's really no good video for it. Also, the only one I know about, Grey Dynamics, doesn't really do it justice, and for some reason brings up a Russian repro company in their article. Before we get into the gear, I want to mention that most of the gear was identified from combat mission photos or videos. Photo shoots are unreliable. Not only does Ukrainian SSO wear gear for sponsorships, but photo shoot kits are often very different from what's used in combat. There was also some gear we saw but couldn't identify, so with that out of the way, let's start. We'll be going from top to bottom, helmet covers to boots. So we'll be starting out with helmet covers. The most common helmet cover to see is simply Lapa Gear's helmet cover, followed by both MTAC's and Velvet's helmet scrim. If you don't want scrim, MTAC's full mesh cover has also been seen. There's also the issued MM14 fast cover and various Chinese or Ukrainian made multicam fast cover helmets. There's also NSS's unatanium helmet cover and a one-off First Spear helmet cover in Coyote. While there aren't that many options, it's expected. I'm more surprised I didn't see any OpsCore covers. Now onto the helmets themselves. There isn't much variety. The most common I've seen is the U-Arms Tor and Tor D. There's also a few Team Windy Exfil 2.0s in OD and Coyote, though I lost the Coyote picture. There's also, as expected, many OpsCore variants in different colors, though most of the helmets have covers on, so you can play it safe and say almost any OpsCore works. The only one we can outright confirm is an SF. The most common headset we saw in use was the M3 Pelleters in OD, which surprised me. While there was some FED usage, most guys used OD. We also saw some Sword and Supreme Pro X's, OpsCore amps, and Inviso-O's T7s, I hope I'm saying that right, and Emor M32X's. For accessories like IR lights, counterweights, and similar items, when they did appear, it was things like Core Survival Hellstar strobes and SNS Precision's Mantis strobes. We did see Mohawk cameras and surprisingly MVG mounted GoPros. From what I was told, anything past GoPro Hero 9 should be fine. I'd freeball the accessories but wouldn't go overboard, a single IR light is enough. As for counterweights, if you really want one, I'd recommend using the brands listed later in the pouch section. We really didn't see any, or couldn't really see any, clearly in combat footage, so just follow what you think would work. Now moving down to the vest section. The most common setup was the AVS and its copies. Either the Cry AVS or Protex AVS copy will work. More surprising was the issued gear. While I don't specialize in Ukrainian gear, it's surprising to see Temp 3000's Corsair M3C and MM14. From what I've been told, it's more used by machine gunners and similar roles. Another issued vest is Ukraine Tax UT Save in both MM14 and Multicam, as well as UT Defense in MM14. Despite my personal dislike of MM14, it's still cool to see it used, and I think others will appreciate it too. Other Ukrainian brands include MTAC Sturm in Kurus, Real Defense's Skillet Max in MM14, Velvet's Purin 4 in Multicam, and we also saw some American vests like Cry's JPC 2.0, Ferro Concepts FC PC5, along with Protec's copy, an upgrade, called Frankenstein. I'm heavily butchering that last section, so I'm giving you a personal sorry here. Now I'm going to give admin pouches special attention because I can. The most common admin pouches we saw were MTAC's Admin Pouch Elite, both the large and standard size, and Protec's admin pouch. If you wanted something else, Ballistica's Orin admin pouch was also seen. There's also no shortages of random Chinese tactical phone pouches and American Juggernaut cases. Now moving lower, we're going to be talking about groin protection. The most common groin pad you'll see is usually the Ensis, either the 3-point or 4-point. Wonder where those came from. We also had MTAC's 3-point groin pad and both variants of their single-point groin pad. Other Ukrainian brands include Attack's Mod 4, Abram 3-point, we couldn't tell the exact model, and other sightings include a Surplus American IOTV groin protectors and Cry's single-point groin pad. And of course, one I have to mention, as it's very famous among the Ukrainian SSO LARP scene, is Matt's Trophy 3-point R's groin pad. Or is it? It isn't. It's a Chinese repro. I could go into a whole rant about how either it's not a trophy or it is, but take it as you will. And in the off chance Matt sees this, hello Matt, I hope you're doing well. Well, that wraps up groin protections, so let's get on to belts. Belts are, well, hard to identify and usually are covered or just not even seen at all. But this is what we could identify. MTAC's War Belt, Protec's LPB copy, Cry's LPB, Warrior Assault Systems belt, Protec's Ronin, and future-proofing this video, Ensis's Lima's belt. Now on to sitting mats. Honestly, just freeball it. We couldn't identify anything clearly, and just look. We couldn't tell, man. Just use whatever you like, as long as it's from like a brand either we mentioned or one that you personally know. So, now we'll be moving on to pouches. Since I don't want to sit here for 2 hours naming every pouch and showing every reference, I'll just list all the different pouches on my screen by their respective brands. Just pause to read or take screenshots. Now on to the final part, clothes and leaf suits. You mainly have two brands, T-Form and Lapa. These are easy to follow because it's simpler to list what hasn't been used rather than what has been used. For Lapa, every suit and Vibro Hood has been used except for the V1 and V3 M2 leaf suits, and the Vibro Hoods V1 and V2 haven't been used, so anything else should be fine. For T-Form, suits ranging from the V6 to V14 have been used, so that's what you should get. Also, Velvet's Vibro Hood has also been seen, and that pretty much wraps it up for leaf suits. Now on to clothing. We could barely identify tops, but for pants, Cry G3 and G4 bottoms, or copies, were the most common. Also seen were MTAC Sturm Gen 2, Velvet's X1 Gen 1 bottoms, and generic issued MM14 pants. For tops, we've seen issued MM14 uniforms, Cry G3 tops, US Army Surplus combat tops, Surplus Massif tops, and even Surplus UK MPT tops. Since most were worn under the leaf suits, it's likely they used breathable tops or field shirts, especially in warmer weather. Finally, boots and shoes. Talon, Somalin, and Loa, we've seen them all. At this point, we were tired of IDing gear, so just freeball it. Use whatever boots you like. no one really cares, and if someone does, who cares? Also, I did include backpacks, so just throw a LAPA cover over yours and you'll be fine. And I mean, like, how are we supposed to ID this? Like, unlike with, like, Russian SSO. Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this isn't Russian content, but I have to branch out where I can. So I'll expect more videos like this in the future, and I hope you have a nice day. Hopefully Russian videos soon. And as always, I'll see you next time.